You're sitting in your car. You got pulled over. Maybe it was a lane change. Maybe you were going 5 over. Maybe you have no idea why. The officer walks up, checks your license, checks your registration, and then when you think you're about to get a ticket and just drive on your merry way, they say it. Mind if I have a look in your car real quick? And your whole body tenses up. Here's the thing. What you say in the next 5 seconds will either protect you or will open a door that cannot be closed. And I'm going to tell you exactly what to say. Stay with me. What's up, everybody? I am Marc Lopez, former deputy prosecutor, now defender of the people. I have spent years in courtrooms watching people destroy their own cases before they ever get to trial. Not because they were guilty, not because the officer had good evidence, but because they said the wrong thing at the wrong time. Today we're talking about car searches, what cops can do, what they can't do, and most importantly, the exact words you need to say to protect yourself. Hit that subscribe button. You are going to want this for later. Let's get the foundation right because this does matter. The Fourth Amendment to the United States Constitution protects you from unreasonable searches and seizures. That includes your car. Here's the key point. A police officer can't just search your vehicle because they want to. They need one of 3 things. Number 1, your consent, meaning you said yes to a search. Number 2, probable cause, meaning specific articulable facts that a crime is happening. Number 3, a warrant signed by a judge. That's it. Those are the only 3 doors in. And here's the one they use most often. Door number 1, your consent. Why? Well, because consent is the easiest one for them. All they have to do is ask, and most people roll over and say, yes, no problem, officer. Why do people say yes to searches? Well, there's fear, there's confusion, there's the desire to be polite, give in to authority, but there's also this belief that some people have, well, Mark, if I got nothing to hide, I got nothing to worry about, right? I'm going to stop you right there. That logic will mess up your day. Here's the only thing you need to say when a cop asks to search your car. I do not consent to searches. That's it. Those are the words. Memorize them. Tattoo them on your brain. You're not going to say, I guess, because that's consent. You're not going to say, I don't have anything to hide, because that can be construed as consent to an officer. You're not going to have silence with a shrug, because that can be treated as consent. You need to say it clearly, you need to say it calmly, and you need to repeat it as many times as the officer asks. Officer, I do not consent to searches. Say it politely. You don't need to be rude. You don't need to be aggressive. In fact, do not be aggressive. Keep your hands where they can see them and stay cool. But be clear, because clear is what protects you. Now here's where it gets real, because the officer isn't going to just say, okay, have a nice day. They are trained and they're going to push back. And if you're not ready for it, you're going to fold. The officers are counting on you folding. I've seen officers joke in courtroom, in deposition, in conversation in the hallway. That dude folding like a piece of paper. Ha, ha, ha. So you have to be ready for it. Let me walk you through the 6 most common things they say after you decline a search and exactly how you are going to respond. Situation number 1. I just need a quick look. It's only going to take a minute. The word quick is doing a lot of work in that sentence. There is no such thing as a quick look. That doesn't count as a search. They're going to try to minimize it so you drop your guard. But I tell you what, when you agree to that search, they're going to do everything they want. They're going to dump things on the side of the road, pulling panels in that glove box under your seat where you haven't touched in years. I have seen situations where officers leave things on the side of the road. Oh, nothing in there. Have a great day. And someone's like, well, put all my stuff on the side of the road. And the officer's like, thank you. Have a great one. There's nothing quick about a search. Your response to this quick search, I understand, but I do not consent to any searches. Don't apologize. Don't explain. Just repeat the phrase. Situation number 2. The officer says, if you don't have anything to hide, why do you care? That one is a classic, and it works on people every single day. Here's the truth. Your right to privacy has nothing to do with what's in your car. Nothing. Your constitutional rights don't disappear because you're nervous, because you look suspicious, or because some cop implies you're hiding something. Innocent people get charged all the time. Evidence gets misread, items get misidentified, and you are not the last line of defense against your own prosecution. Your attorney is. Your response is simple. Situation number 3. Well, I'm going to ask to get a warrant. Good. Let them. A warrant requires probable cause. It requires a written application. It requires a judge to review it and sign off. That process takes time, and not every situation clears the bar. The officer is betting you do not know that. They're betting the word warrant makes you panic and cave. Your response was very simple. I don't consent to searches. Let them go get a warrant. If they have the probable cause to get one, they are searching regardless of your consent. If they don't, well, they're bluffing. And now your attorney has leverage to fight whatever comes next. Situation number 4. I smell marijuana. This one is dangerous, and it comes up all the time. The states are all over the place on this particular issue. In a state where marijuana is legal, the smell of marijuana alone may not be enough. The smell of burnt marijuana versus raw marijuana may or may not be enough. In states like Indiana, where marijuana is not legal, well, they can search your entire vehicle, even your trunk, which is insane. But regardless what they tell you, do not agree to a search. If an officer says they smell marijuana and then proceeds to search, you do not physically try to stop them. That's going to be problematic for you. That's a whole other set of charges. Keep your hands visible and you simply say, I do not consent to searches. You need to do the research on your state and the laws of marijuana, what is and is not allowed if officer smells burnt or raw marijuana. And just a quick reminder, even in states where marijuana is legalized, it's still illegal to drive high on marijuana. And you know that. But by saying, I do not consent to searches, you are building a record. You're giving your attorney ammunition to challenge that search in court. Was there actually an odor? Was the officer credible? Was he trained on that odor? Was the search in the scope of what marijuana smell would justify? Your attorney can fight that later on, but only if you documented your non-consent loudly and clearly. Situation number 5. Well, I'm going to have the canine come out. Same strategy, same answer. I do not consent to searches. Now, the law around dog sniffs is complex. A free air sniff around your vehicle generally does not require a warrant or consent, but the officer cannot extend the stop for an unreasonable amount of time just to get a dog to the scene. Stay calm. Don't answer questions, repeat your non-consent, and document everything you remember the moment the encounter is over. Situation number 6, the silence game. This one's kind of fun to watch on body cams and dash cams. Sometimes when people tell an officer they don't consent to search, the officer doesn't say anything. They just sit there and stare at the person. They can get a little uncomfortable, even watching it on a computer screen. I get uncomfortable at some of these officers taking their time in the silence game. But what they're trying to do is stretch out the silence until you feel like you've had your fill of it and you cave into a search or say something or just start talking to fill the time. Don't do that. Don't fill the silence. Silence is not consent. Silence is not suspicious. Silence is one of your most powerful tools. You've already said you don't consent to searches. You don't have to keep talking. You don't have to explain yourself. You don't have to be their friend. If you told them, I don't consent to searches, and the officer is sitting there staring at you, your response is nothing. Keep your hands visible, eyes forward, and be quiet. Now, let me tell you about the 3 biggest mistakes I see over and over again when officers ask to search a car. Mistake number 1, consenting to avoid conflict. I understand why people do it. You don't want to seem difficult. You don't want to make the officer angry. You think, I've got nothing to hide. I'll let them look. Here's the problem. Once you consent, the search is legal, period. If they find something, anything, your attorney's hands are going to be tied. You've handed away your best defense before the game has even started. Mistake number 2, arguing about whether the search is legal. You are not going to win a constitutional law argument on the side of the road. The time to fight an illegal search is in court, not at the traffic stop. Stay calm, state your non-consent, let your attorney handle the rest. That is what attorneys are for. Mistake number 3, talking too much. I cannot stress this enough. When you are nervous, your mouth runs. You start explaining, you start justifying, you start sharing information you don't need to share. Every single word you say can be used against you. Not some words, not just the incriminating ones, every word. Once you stated you don't consent to searches, stop talking. You have the right to remain silent. That right exists for a reason. Let me give you the playbook one more time. An officer asks to search your car, you say, I do not consent to any searches. The officer keeps pushing, tries to guilt you, threatens a warrant. I do not consent to searches. Officer says they smell something and start to search anyway. I do not consent to searches. And you stop talking. An officer asks questions about where you've been, who you've seen, what's in the car. I plead the 5th. I don't consent to searches. You do not have to be rude about it. You do not have to explain. You do not have to apologize. You just have to be clear. Now, if you've watched this video this long, you must like me a little, tiny little bit. I'm asking you, please subscribe to my channel, like this video, and leave me a comment. Would you let an officer search your vehicle? If you don't want to talk about that in the comments, well, every time I wear this suit jacket, somebody makes a comment that I'm looking like Miami Vice. So leave me a funny comment. You like my jacket, hate my jacket, whatever. I don't care. I mean, I like the nice comments more than the mean comments. I mean, come on, who doesn't, right? Let me know who I remind you of, whatever. I love comments. I try to read these every morning, drinking some coffee, read them in the afternoon too, a couple of times a day. If you're facing charges in Indiana, I encourage you to give me and my team a call here at the Marc Lopez Law Firm. We would love to talk to you about your options. But most importantly, remember to always plead the fifth.